welcome back to another gear show. I know it has been a long time, and to my loyal subscribers, all approximately 24 of you, thank you for staying. We're back, and because there's been such a long gap, I am going to just consider this Season 2. So in Season 2, it's going to be a little less gear-oriented. This time around, quick warning. You probably hear a deep rumbling in the background, especially if you have good speakers. That's because I now live next to an airport. Ups and downs, you know. I'm sleeping better because of the engine noise, but it does mean that every once in a while you'll hear engines going by, la-di-da. Anyway, getting back to it, Season 2 is going to be a little less gear-focused and a little more focused on, what's a good word for it? Organization. Organization. Let me tell you something about organization. I am the least organized person on the planet. My desk is in a constant state of clutter, evolving, ethereal, like old ones kind of clutter. Like, it's not dirty, you know, it's just there's papers and notes and like things I'm trying to photograph, or just it's just cluttered. Like, I honestly expect to like lift up a stack of papers and see Cthulhu staring up at me going, why the fuck did you wake me up? But organization. It's great to have gear, it's great to have a plan, but part of that plan and part of using that gear is being and staying organized. So to that end, what we're doing this season is we're focusing on organization. And it's not just mental organization. We're going to talk about types of physical organization as well. Ways to keep your shit organized, that way you don't lose things. Like, I constantly lose things. And by lose things, I mean I set them down, I forget where I set them down, and I spend the next 3 days in a panicked rage going, where is XYZ? But don't worry, it's not going to be an entirely boring season. I've got something coming up that is very much in early stages right now, that will require me to get a few things. And I'm not talking production things, I'm talking about something like my wilderness first responder certification and things like that. So I am hoping to take you on that journey with me. Coupled with that, we're going to be aiming to get our amateur radio license so I can press that button. That's what it's all about. I want to be able to press a button instead of just using this as a $30 weather radio, which, by the way, is not a bad thing. And there's something going on about these radios getting rechipped or something like that by the end of September. So, like, if you're watching this when this is dropped, which is approximately the end of August, buy 2 or 3 of those things now. They're only like $30, and it'll be good to have them, even if you're not certified, because the FCC has stated, you know, in an emergency, and I mean, you kind of got to use your own judgment as to what's an emergency, you can press that button and get help. But go ahead and think about getting some of those radios, because once the new chipset thing is put in place, it severely restricts what you can do with those radios. I can already hear in the studio space that this is really echoey. I'm sorry. I'm going to be investing in some sound reinforcement, some sound dampening. So hopefully not next episode, but the episode following will be a little cleaner audio-wise. But yeah, getting back to it, we're going to be talking about organization. Little things that you can get to keep your shit organized. Little things. Little things. So yeah, here's a, right here. Oh, see, I didn't leave you. Not only are we going to be doing our wilderness first responder and our amateur radio license thing, we're going to have some fun. Because it's almost September, and almost September means almost Halloween. And almost Halloween means it's time to play with some fun stuff, like, whoosh, no, don't focus on me, focus on this. We're going to be playing with smoke grenades for the hell of it, but also as a practical demonstration of how to use these in a defensive mode. Let me set this down. We're also going to be talking about I really hesitate to use the word Bible because that's got so many connotations attached to it. But we're going to talk about putting together your emergency book, your quick reference book for bad days. This is not my quick reference book. This is just a notebook. Yeah. Last time I used this was when I did some work on my truck. I was taking notes about parts that I needed to get, things like that. But your quick reference book shouldn't be bigger than this. I mean, this is 5 by 7. It's something that can fit in a cargo pocket or a slash pocket on a backpack. But we're going to be talking about putting together an emergency book. We're going to be talking essentially about all of the admin kind of stuff that goes into just being basically prepared for your own life, because emergencies do happen. So we're going to focus on how to take administrative steps in not necessarily mitigating or avoiding those instances, but ways to minimize the chaos when shit does go down. I mean, Farmer's Almanac is predicting, what did they call it, like roller coaster winter or some shit like that. So it's going to be bad. People are going to be getting sick because of drastic weather changes. I know this summer, okay, let me rewind a little bit. As you see, we're in a new studio space. I dropped a video saying we were looking for a place. We found a place near the airport. But then we had this we had this cascading series of issues. We first got in here, there was no water. We had to trace down a leak for that. And then Heather, the producer, my wife, got hospitalized for 10 days. And then we went for a month without air conditioning. And then now we've got a giant hole in the ceiling from where the air conditioning line had been leaking and destroying this stuff, sheetrock. So we've been contending with all these little nitnoid things. We found out recently that the house we moved into has basically been vacant for the past 4 years. So we're doing a lot of neglect kind of cleanup. So one of the things we were contending with, especially when it got really, really hot this summer, was blackouts. Everybody was running their air conditioning. It was putting a strain on the grid, and then boom, power would go out. And it would always go out about the same time, early afternoon or mid-afternoon. Sun has been out there just baking the world. Everybody was running their air conditioner, and then nothing, power out. No, nothing. So what do? But you pull out a book and you start reading. But, how many of you have paper books? How many of you have a Kindle that, I've got a Kindle. Let me just read on that because it's got a 2-week battery. So yeah, that's a good thing to have, in my opinion. If you do have a Kindle and you do have it loaded up with books, get a copper sleeve for it, some kind of Faraday bag for it. I don't think EMP is going to be a problem on a personal level. I don't think somebody's going to airburst a fucking nuke and that's it, grid down. But there are external circumstances. There are external forces that can cause a power outage or what is this? Transmission blockage, RF interference. So you may lose cell signal, you may lose Wi-Fi, you lose a certain spectrum, you may lose, 2.0 to 2.5 gigahertz, and then all of a sudden your cordless phones, you don't have cordless phones, you have cell phones, But you know what I mean. You lose that potential for stuff. It may be as inconvenient as, oh, my wireless mouse doesn't work, and it may be as inconvenient as my Roku just took a shit, and now I can't watch, whatever, Dr. somebody, Kodiak Wilderness Bear thing, whatever. I don't. So yeah, it's a little weird getting back into the swing of this because it has been so long. As usual, I'm not preparing a script. This is all just off the cuff. So yeah, season 2, admin stuff, organization stuff. We're gonna try to keep the flow of things. The flow of things. I'm gonna try to drop a video. I would like to try to drop one about every 10 days. That's not always possible with my work schedule. As of right now, my September is pretty open, so I may be able to bash out a few and kind of pregame. But if not, I haven't abandoned you. I am still here. I'm still alive. We're going to work on improving the studio situation. We're going to work on improving the audio. We're going to work on improving everything this season. We're going to try to keep having fun. So thank you again for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you again for staying. I am hoping that this will be the precursor. I'm looking to drop, what is today? It's 29th or 30th-ish. So yeah, look for the first episode around the 8th or 9th of September. And what I'm going to do with that one is we'll start with small scale, micro level organization. How to organize stuff in your pockets, how to organize stuff on your desk, how to organize stuff in your office. So yeah, it should be really exciting. So in the meantime, yes, thank you again for staying. Thank you for watching. I'm Mike. This has been another Gear Show, and I am hoping you continue to try to be better than you were yesterday. Oh, almost forgot. The show has a sponsor. It doesn't really, but I'm trying to make it sound important. So today's sponsor is clean water. Clean water is very important. If you don't have clean water, you can't drink, you can't bathe, you need clean water. So talk to your city, or, go up and vigorously shake a cop and say, I need clean water. They'll be happy to help you out. Don't do that, because that will land you in a rubber room with one of those fancy I Love Me jackets. But yeah, just try to be better than you were yesterday.